Hello, today we're going to be talking about the pause squat.
Need to confess.
Okay, so the pause squat is a squat variation that's probably in the top tier of squat assistance exercises in terms of how useful it is and how it's going to carry over to the squat. So basically we're just going to talk through briefly how to execute it. We're going to talk through the basic uses of it, how it's going to carry over, and then we'll discuss some simple ways you can bring it into a program. Okay, so pause squat's basically just a competition variation of squat. So you'll have some squats such as, say the squat bar where you utilize a different bar, Dufflo bar, or something where you utilize a different bar which will change the nature of the movement. And then you have other squats which will put the bar in a different orientations, or something like a front squat, overhead squat, or in some other scenarios like something like a high bar squat. Put the bar in a different orientation and that will change the balance, the muscles utilized, and the coordination of the exercise. Pause squat can be used with all of these variations. You can do overhead pause squats, front pause squats, but what we're going to discuss today is just the pause squat and how it relates and how it actually affects your competition squat. So when I say your competition squat, it is whatever stance, whatever position, basically whichever setup you'll utilize in competition to get yourself the biggest squat, and we're talking specifically here about powerlifting competition, obviously. Okay, so you'll set up the rack, you set up the bar, everything is set up the exact same way as you would do for a normal squat. Stand up with it, take it out, set your feet in a normal position. Basically everything up till actually sitting down is the exact same as it would be in a competition squat. So what you're going to want to do during a pause squat is you're going to want to be more aware of your surroundings, you're going to be wanting to be more aware of what you're doing, you're going to want to try and feel things more. For this to be useful, or for this to carry through in your execution, this is going to mean you're going to require a slower tempo than you probably would if you're going for a 1RM or you're doing a heavy rep out. So all your setup's going to be the same, but as you're setting up, just start to feel things, start to feel the muscles of your back, feel your glutes, feel your hamstrings, feel your quadriceps right from the get-go. So as you're setting up, start to feel how you're moving. Then as you unhinge your hips backwards, start to feel where your weight is going, start to feel how the tension relationships to the knee and the hips are changing. Then sit down between your knees like you would in a normal squat, but as you're sitting down between your knees, start to think about what you're actually doing here. What are you doing with your knees? What are you doing with your lower back? What are you doing with your glutes? What are you doing with the upper back? And as you get deeper into the squat, how does this change? Do you feel a change in the tension in the knee? Do you feel a change in the tension in the glutes? Do you feel a need potentially to extend the upper back more? Do you feel a need to shift your hips forward more? Start to feel the balance on your foot. Basically, you want to start taking a mental note of everything that's happening as you execute the squat. So you're going to come down to full depth or close to full depth. Ideally, when we come down to depth, what you want to do is you want to create a false bottom, as it were. You want to create tension around the hips, utilizing the muscles of the hips, the hamstring, the lower back, and the upper back. So you're sitting into a squat that's competition deep, or maybe slightly deeper. But what we're not wanting to do is we're not wanting to sit down at end range and just like let your skeleton hold you, because that's going to teach you bad habits. When that's done dynamically, that's going to lead to rounding of the spine. It's going to lead you to going too deep. It's probably going to lead to knee valgus. It's going to have a lot of fairly negative knock-on effects. Whereas if you're utilizing your muscles and the tension of your muscles to create like the false bottom, or to hold you at the bottom, you're going to be in control the whole way, which is going to let you be in control or to boss the trajectory of the movement, which is ultimately what we're looking to develop from pause squat, or help to develop from pause squat, is your awareness and your ability to control yourself through the full range of the movement. You want to sit down at the bottom position for about 1 second or 2 seconds. Reason being, we're trying to dissipate the stretch shorten cycle. So a stretch shorten cycle is basically what the bounce is. So when you do a jump, or when you sprint, or you do a lateral hop, or you do any form of plyometrics exercise, you're utilizing what's called a stretch shorten cycle, which basically means the tendons and the muscle tendinous junctions, the tendons and the ligaments basically utilize stored energy. You stored elastic energy in the form of kinetic energy to provide a return. So that's why if you bounce out of the bottom of a squat, it feels easier because you're utilizing a stretch shorten cycle. One of the main aspects of the pause squat is you're going to get rid of that. So you're going to need to hold a minimum of about 1 second. Typically, anything over 800 milliseconds or anything over 850 milliseconds wouldn't be classified as a plyometric exercise. Things that move at 250 to about 450 milliseconds are categorized as slow plyometric exercise. Anything that happens under 250 milliseconds is classed as a quick plyometric exercise. What we're trying to do is we're trying to remove the plyometric elements, so you're going to want to hold a longer pause basically. There's nothing to say you have to pause for 5 to 10 seconds, some people do, but anything between 1 to 2 seconds is probably sufficient. You can maybe even stretch out to 3 seconds if you want. Now, from this position, again, start to take note of your balance, take note of the tension of your hips, take note of the tension of your upper back. Basically, feel where you're at, feel how your joints feel how the weight feels in your hips. Take note of everything basically when you're down there. Once your time's up, or you come to your 2 count or your 3 count, then stand up aggressively, stand up strong. You're going to want to try stand up bar first. So to utilize that, you're going to need to stand up head, chest, shoulders into the bar. As you do that, your hips are going to come away from the center line, because this is going to happen as you're going to need to pull on the hamstrings, pull on the glutes, basically be in a better position to utilize your hip to get out of the bottom. This is normal, but what you want to do as this happens, as this backswing happens, you want your chest and your shoulders to rise at the same time. So you're not wanting to come in a scenario where you're in this position and then you do this. We're looking to come up together in what should look like a good, well-executed squat. Basically, that's the ins and outs of how to perform the pause squat. We're looking to perform a squat as per normal, but we're looking to take a lot of mental notes as we're doing it. We're looking to adjust our balance so we keep it centered, and we're looking to be in physical control the whole time. We're not going to sit at end range and let our skeleton hold us, or our tendons. So where would you use pause squat? So pause squat's very useful for someone who maybe hasn't got the best awareness of their balance, someone who maybe has some form of hip tuck at the bottom. Uses in conjunction with a limited range, such as a high box squat and a pause squat to depth, can help them to readjust how they're sitting down, help them to learn how to hold their position. It can be used to develop a stronger bottom position, more comfortable bottom position. You can use it before a squat session, so maybe 4 sets of 4, 65% to preempt the squat session. Come away, maybe do some bench press, and then come back and do your squat workout. Can be utilized as a primer for someone who maybe they don't hold a good back position, as we mentioned. Maybe their weight tips forward. Maybe they knee valgus. Just allows them a chance to do the exercise in a slower, more controlled environment, where they're in more control of what they're doing. And then when they come on to do more meaningful or more of an overload focused workout, or maybe even just a volume based workout, they can preempt their skill execution. So when they go into the actual squat, hopefully they can actually perform a better execution of that lift. It can also be used as supplementary volume. So if you're doing a full noise program, such as like a squat pyramid, and then maybe some bench press, then if you want to get some extra work in at the end, something like 4 sets of 4, 60%, pause squat will help with that. Also help you to develop a hypertrophy of the muscles specifically involved in getting out of the bottom, glutes, hamstrings, but to hypertrophy them in a way that's specific to squat. It can be done against bands to help you with your acceleration and your tension out of the bottom. Same thing with chains. There's a whole range of different implements you can utilize with it. You can utilize a box at the bottom to hit a definite dead stop. You can utilize a box above parallel, you can pause above parallel, you can pause below parallel, you can pause halfway up. There's a whole different array of ways you can implement the exercise. But basically it's a transfer tool, it's a skill transfer tool, it's a drill to help you to learn how to control your body better, to position yourself better, and to coordinate things better. It's not necessarily something that's going to make you stronger at the bottom, although that is maybe something you can develop. The better way to look at it is a skill development tool. Okay, that's going to conclude our chat about the pause squat. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Marquise. If you're watching this on Facebook, please like the videos and give it a share. If you're watching it on YouTube, please like and subscribe. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll check you in your next strongest day. Thank you and goodbye.